What's going on, everyone? Mr. Jamestown here, and this is the introduction to our brand new podcast. So me and the Great One 718, he's my co-host on this, and we're two guys that's never done a podcast, but we're going to try to do a podcast. And it's called The Gamers Lounge. We've actually set up a brand new channel for it. Links to everything will be in the description below, so make sure you go over there and subscribe so you can see the episodes. And we're going to try to make it different than your normal podcast, but this is the first episode, and there's a lot of mistakes you'll see. Like I said, we've never done this before, but there's some, like the Google Hangout menu bar keeps sliding over, and we're still working on how to get, the cameras and things like that. So, but we didn't want to waste the show. We feel the content, is pretty good. So, just kind of listen to it. There is a little of an audio delay on one of them, but it goes away in about 10 seconds. So, just want to say thanks so much for stopping by, checking out this podcast. And we are looking for sponsors. It doesn't cost anything. You can put together a quick little video about yourself, and we'd love to share it. And we're going to try to share at least 3 or 4 of these throughout the podcast, just to kind of, give you guys a shout out. So, but anyway, let's jump into the podcast. Thank you so much for watching, and this is episode 1.
Go.
What is going on, everyone? Mr. Jamestown. I'm joined with the Great One, and this is episode 1 of the Gamers Lounge, where you're going to witness 2 guys that's never done a podcast, and we're going to attempt to do a podcast.
So pretty much sums it up. How's it going? Like you said, I'm Great One, known as Angel, and this is number 1, but you know what? We'll definitely get it right. So, all right, Jane, what you got on the topic for us today?
All right, so we have to start off with, this is obviously a brand new show. We are the Gamers Lounge, and the purpose of this podcast is going to be kind of making gaming funny, but also incorporating like news and events and things like that. I understand there's a lot of podcasts out there, and everyone, there's just so many of them, and we're not trying to be like them. We're trying to be better than them. So don't look at this episode as the bar of where we're setting this podcast to be, because we are constantly going to be improving, and you're going to see that every week we're going to raise that bar just a little bit higher. Because it's all about getting better. And, like I said, this is our first one. So it is what it is. We figure it out, and we just keep going from there.
Agreed. Definitely
can only go
agreed.
Up.
That's true.
So, but anyway, so I was putting this together, and obviously, I picked you, to kind of be the co-host of this show and everything.
Yep.
And, there's a lot involved with starting a podcast, which I've never done a podcast. Have you ever done a podcast?
I've been on one, and to be honest with you, it was like maybe 4 to 5 questions, and that was pretty much it. It was kind of like a rapid minute. Okay, bam, first question. Okay, okay. Everybody did their little input on it. Okay, next question, and then from there, it went on to the next person, and that was pretty much it. I mean, it was a good experience, but it was definitely something like, I don't know if I can get used to that. Like, you figure with us, like, we can actually, converse back and forth based on what we, want to talk about and how to get it out there and how to go about, getting this right. So I don't know, like, it wasn't really what I expected it to be, but at the same time, I kind of got it like, you know what? Okay, this is not bad, because to pull you out of your comfort zone is definitely a good thing at times, especially like this. Because like the whole, like, when I started doing the vlogs, I'm comfortable with speaking in front of people, but not really into a camera, So this is definitely, it's a new experience for me, like, as far as this breaks down.
And that's one of the things with YouTube. Like, a lot of people, they don't understand, it's the, people like, okay, I'm funny, I'm gonna do YouTube, and
they think it's so easy. Like,
yeah, and I try to explain it to people where it's like, okay, you have to talk into a camera that doesn't talk back. And then you also have to watch your eyes, because you have to make sure, like, if the camera's over here and then you put your notes over there, you're like constantly looking this way, and you got to not be like, because
Yeah,
you
to
always
try
have to
to.
cough at the
Mm-hmm.
worst possible time. That's when you have to cough. That's when the lawnmower goes across. I mean, everything happens at the worst possible time. I mean, literally, like a lightning strike will take and happen and blow your plug to your router completely out right in the middle. I mean, I was one away from a chem strike when that happened.
Oh, I'd have been
Oh, no, no, I'm
pissed.
just kidding. I'm
Oh,
just
that'd
kidding.
have been funny though.
Yeah, that would have been pretty funny actually. But it takes a lot of effort. I mean, even like starting like the podcast and stuff because branding is so important now. And it's more important because there's so many different
Yeah.
ways that you have to brand yourself. Like you have to be cross branded or it's just, and when I set up the Gamers Lounge, I actually bought this domain a long time ago and I didn't really do anything with it. And then it was like, okay, but back in the day you set up a domain, you
Right.
picked out, what you wanted your website to be, you put some stuff on there and you were good. And now it's like, okay, I need a Twitter, I need a Twitch, I need a YouTube, and you have to make sure that all those names are available. So literally I had all these windows open with all these different, usernames to see if like it was going to
Be
be
available.
available.
Yeah.
And then when all of them were available, I was like, well, crap, what happens if I sign up for one and then in the middle, one of them gets taken, like, so it was
That's
so
true.
frustrating, and,
Yep.
especially for gaming because then you got to do Twitch and I remember when I first started YouTube I was so mad because I came up with Jamestown, that was my name, that's what I wanted to go by, and I was like, all right, nobody's gonna have this name, and I go to YouTube and I type in youtube.com/Jamestown to see if it was available, and you know what it was?
What?
It was a video of this guy took from his cell phone of him sitting in the car and it was raining and he had his windshield wipers on and there was a leaf. And that's
Huh.
all it was just a video of this leaf going back and forth between his car. And it was like 3 years old and he had one video. That was his whole channel. And I'm like, really? I can't get this name because this guy has a leaf? Like, what? I mean, it was so frustrating, but you know, it is what it is. It all worked out. Everything's good now. But for those that are wondering, we have secured a Twitch, a Twitter, everything.
Yes,
You
we
can
did.
actually find it at thegamerslounge.com. There's links to the Twitter and everything. And so you can just click on that, and then you can subscribe. You can, just whichever social platforms you're on, we have just about all of them set up. So, and if there's one that you're on that we should, if you think of one we need to add, we'll
Oh,
we'll
I'll
do-
definitely bring it to your attention. Most definitely.
maybe Vine or something. A lot of people have been kind of hopping on
Yeah.
that lately.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I actually have
Talk about today's sponsor.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about today's sponsor because I definitely want to the topic I want to talk about was during a recent thing that occurred at my school, and I'll definitely break it down the way it broke. I think you'll find it interesting based on what occurred. So go
Well,
ahead.
we're going to do sponsors throughout the show, and if you're actually interested in becoming a sponsor, what you need to do is make a little quick 15 to 30-second video kind of promoting yourself. If you have a clan, if you're a Twitch streamer, whatever it is that you may do, gaming related. It doesn't necessarily have to be COD. We're pretty much open to just gaming in general.
Yep.
And just make a quick little video. Don't have any intro or anything like that. Don't put your intro into the video. Just you talking, or a quick gameplay or whatever it is that you want to do. Just quick little video kind of describing who you are and what your channel is about. And then we'll just pick ones, and those will be ones because we're going to do little commercial breaks kind of throughout the show. And we want to feature you guys because we thank you for supporting us. And if we can, send a couple viewers your way, then it's a win-win for both of us. So if you're interested in that, you can, just head to thegamerslounge.com and you'll find all the information that you need right there on the website. But this one, our first sponsor, this will go down in the history books, is going to be, it was DS Fury, and she's a Twitch streamer, right?
Yes, she's definitely she's one of those streamers. Like I've been watching her stream for a while, and she's definitely like doing the quote fingers, and I hate doing that. She really is like I think she's great. she's she's very sociable, like especially like on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you know, her Twitch. She interacts
very
with.
pink.
Yeah, she's all about the pink. I mean, pink's her color. You know, she's very classy, but also at the same time she's very respectful. Like when she streams, you know, there's about 6 of us, and I happen to be one of the mods because we just like clicked. You know, we definitely got along real well. But when she streams lately, I noticed because of the fact that she's blowing up so fast, that in turn, you know, she was view botted the other day. Somebody was trying to DDoS her. I mean, you know, excuse me, it got annoying. Like, you know, she wants to eventually get partnered, but at the same time she wants to do it on her own steam. So it like, I definitely give her credit for having the patience, because she'll pop up on her screen, you know, on the stream, and she'll show the messages that people send her, you know, periodically throughout the day. And one of them was funny because it was like 6 of us, like all 6 mods were in the room. So the guy was like, he actually jumped in to the stream. He was like, hey, Fiery, I want you to read my message. So she's like, all right, she read the message. And mind you, James, it was one of the most derogatory messages. Like, I saw the first line, all I did was go over to his name, bam, straight timed out his ass. Because I'm like, and she was like, where'd he go? I was like, I flat out told her. I timed him out. I was like, oh, thank you. And one of her close friends on there, his name is Cruel Bandit. He was like, damn, great, you beat me to it. I was like, yeah, I don't tolerate that. Like, you know, it's one thing if she's being trashy on there to receive that type of attention, but no, you know, she wasn't sleazy. You know, she had a nice little outfit on. She had like a kind of like a top, like where like it wasn't really like a shoestring, but it was like a tank top kind of thing. You know, so her tattoo was showing, and the guy was just all kinds of rude. I mean, people shouldn't have to go through that, even if they're streaming. Just because she's a woman and she wants to stream, you know what? More power to her. There are a lot of girl gamers out there. I'm not going to say any names. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. As she's sitting on the couch there playing her Lego game. You know, the missus, she really likes her games, and she likes her style of game. But you know what? It's what drives her. You know, she I don't particularly like the Lego games, but they are fun to watch. So seeing her watch them, I forget. I'll, you know, put my feet up in the recliner, have a nice little drink, and she'll play for an hour or two, and I enjoy it. But with Fiery, she's hungry. Like, that woman definitely has a drive. Like, she definitely wants to get her name out there. Like, she's, like I said, she's only been streaming a few months, and she has over 2,000 subs. And one of the things that I like to kind of thank her fans or the followers back, you know, with that being said, she had this set up to where if she got 2,000 followers, she ordered like a set of like cat ears that like move, and granted they had a delay in it, but she still kind of fulfilled her obligation, because when she hit the 2,000, she had original cat ears, and she would really, sorry, my dog is being rude, go lay down, buddy. She wore them, like she wore them for the entire duration of the stream. And you know what, that's cool, because she constantly does giveaways. And even though, you know, Twitch right now is really
spunky.
Huh?
She's spunky.
No, she is like
you just look at her and she's spunky. And I don't even know why people get, you know, like hate on girl gamers. Like, that's the silliest thing in the world. Do you really want just a gigantic sausage fest? Like, it doesn't, like please, let's have more girl gamers. Like, what's wrong with that? I'm all for that. Like, you know, and especially ones that are funny, they're spunky, they're not boring. You know, it's like. No. But do you know why I picked her?
Honestly, I do not know why. And you know what? I'd love to hear it as to.
Well, funny that I have a great story of why I picked her. Not only because of the pink hair, because that's just awesome. Okay. And not only because it was episode 1, so we were pretty limited on choices, but she posted out a tweet that I thought was absolutely hilarious. And it was, if you had a third eye, where would you put it?
I caught witness about that.
You see what I responded with? If I had a third eye, where would I put it? Yeah. I'd put it in the girls' locker room. That's where I'd put the third eye. Why not? And then she responded back with, well, that could be a bad thing. You never know what you're going to see. And I was like, okay, very true. But if I'm an eyeball, I can close it and not see what I don't want to see and only see the good things.
Only see the good things. Anything
and she was like, that's a good one, but I love people with like sense of humor like that, And when I saw that, I was like, that's it. She is sponsor number one.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, sponsor number one.
Like, as I'm reading it now, I like the fact that she went along with it. Like, it was definitely...
And all of her links will be in the description below. So if you want to check out, her Twitch stream, if you want to take and check out her Twitter and all that stuff, tell her that Gamers Lounge, if you follow her on Twitter, send her a message, let her know that you saw, you heard about her on this podcast or whatever, and that we were showing her some love, and definitely do that. But all of her links will be down into the description below.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, it would definitely be an honor to have her. Like I said, because she doesn't hold any grudges. She doesn't pull any punches either, which is good because because she doesn't have a filter. Like, that's what I think that will be a big addition to our group here based on like just the way she is, because she was like, oh my god, I love podcasts, and I was like, all right, like that made us wanting her on here so much more. Like,
all right, that's it, everyone. Tweet her and tell her she needs to join this podcast. So everyone that's watching this, send her a tweet and tell her she needs to hop aboard the Gamers Lounge. We need a female. She'd be our third eye.
She would be the third eye. And that would...
All right, guys. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We will be back in just a second. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for just supporting us during this transition. We are going to be, improving weekly. And just want to say thank you so much for stopping by. And we will see you in a quick second.
What is up, guys? Mr. Jamestown here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. These are little breaks that we're going to take where we like to sponsor you guys in the gaming community. So if you have a channel, a Twitch stream, if you're a YouTuber, something like that, please get in contact with us. We'd love for you to put together a little quick video like this, just kind of saying who you are, what you do, what games you play, things like that. And we'll leave all your links and stuff in the description. You don't need an intro. You don't need to, take and have any of that. Just real quick, simple. We cannot have any gameplay on it, so it does need to be a vlog style. So please make sure it's decent quality. And just put together a little video and send it our way. And we'd love to put you, in one of these commercial breaks. So if you have any questions, of course, you can always check out thegamerslounge.com. But let's get back into the show.
Recording.
Welcome back, everyone. Gamers Lounge, episode 1. After a few technical difficulties, but we are back.
Yes, we are.
It's not a podcast without, right?
Yep. The way I look at it, we always got to have those issues that, kind of like, I guess, working out the kinks, if you will. But yeah, we're definitely getting it situated.
I mean, honestly, if my neighbor would start mowing his grass at 11:30 at night, I wouldn't be surprised. All right, so let's talk about MLG. So this is going to be a little segment we're going to do called the MLG Minute. Basically, I'm going to talk about what happened recently in the MLG scene in a minute or less, and then we'll kind of expand on it. So the three big things we got this week is from the last MLG event where Nadeshot, Clayster, and Drifter actually were broadcasting the MLG event, different games. I thought this was a great addition. It was really cool to see the their perspective on the game and the insight of what they knew. I mean, literally, you felt like they were actually playing, and you were sitting in the booth with them. So we'll expand kind of on that, and then. This Embos picture. Did you see this Embos picture that was circulating around Twitter?
That was actually really funny. It wasn't brought up into my attention until I saw your post, and let me tell you, it just had me just in stitches. When I read it and I saw it, I was like, wait. I was like, like I literally buzzed. My girl was like, what was so funny when I showed her the pic? She was like, I'll be damned. Like, it actually looks like something that is possible, like.
Well, the way that I believe the way it started was I saw Optic Nadeshot actually posted a picture of it, and he said he's doing a contest of pick the best caption. And I think that's kind of where it all kind of, and people were responding, and the next people are photoshopping it and putting his head on everything. So anyway, so we'll get into that. And then the MLG roster changes. There was more changes than Obamacare. I mean, it was literally like it was unbelievable. So that's your MLG minute. Now let's kind of dive into it, and we'll kind of go a little bit more in depth for Drifter there, huh?
Yep, in depth.
This is MLG in depth.
Until he rages.
So let's go back to the broadcasting. So did you get to watch some of the Clayster, the Optic? Did you get to see the broadcasting? What did you think?
Well, for me on it, I would have loved to have been able to see it, but this class
you didn't
that
get
I'm
to
in
see
right
it?
Now, no, I didn't get it. Honestly, my class right now it's
my
fundamentals
gosh,
of animation, and it's a class to where I don't have any time. Like I read people putting sub tweets and stuff like that, but I really didn't get a chance to watch. I saw like a meme that they made of the three already mentioned regarding.
You gotta go back. You gotta watch it.
I'll definitely.
Because for those that don't know, actually, I met Great One at a MLG event because we both live in Orlando, and regionals was actually at Full Sail, which is where he goes to school, and that's actually how we met. And we got to see, that was my first event where, I got to meet, a lot of the players and kind of get a big feeling of kind of how the MLG scene worked. And it was definitely, it was neat. But when you're listening to the broadcasters, you're getting their opinion, and they know a lot about, what the players are going to do and things like that. But I really enjoyed watching, especially Clayster. He is so smart. When he's just there's going to be a guy over here and he needs to aim here and they need to push B now or it's not going to happen. That kind of stuff was it was insane. And you don't really experience that, not saying that the broadcasters are bad, but when you get that professional level, it just brought, definitely. It was just a different commentary. You have to go back and watch it because it was insane. It was literally... It was so exciting. I was skipping through and watching the ones that had either nade shot or Drifter or had that, Drifter was a little, it was obviously he doesn't play professionally and stuff, but it was neat when he was talking about the game, where he's like, well, this guy definitely should have won because, this gunfire definitely had, right. A higher range and with the distance there was no way that guy could have won, so that part was cool. But when Optic or Nade Shot and Clayster and stuff, you guys did a great job, by the way, watching them and what they brought to the and they were really good. I thought, okay, here's people that really don't do podcasts don't really do broadcasts, they're usually playing, and but man, they held the tempo and they were good. It was good. You got to go back and watch it for sure.
Well, I'll definitely. Since I have next week off, knowing that it's spring break, I'll definitely get around to watching it because I've heard really good things about it. And when you stream, it's one thing because you're mostly just focused on, all right, you're playing the game, you're looking at the little chat in the right corner of the screen, but to be in front of a camera with a mic and just play is a whole different spectrum. So I definitely, like I said, I was told really good things about it, and I'm definitely going to get around to watching it. But,
yeah, you definitely got to watch it. Okay, so the Mbos picture. This thing went viral, man. It was some of them were so funny. I saw one, and it had the caption. It's actually the one that I did, and it said, "If Wings and Blade had a baby." If you look at that picture, it's like a little Wings blade,
yeah.
Complete
with smile.
Or maybe here's another one. They put cheese in the crust too,
Yeah.
Because his face, he was so happy. I wish they actually he would have posted something that said what he was actually Where did that picture come from?
What was he doing?
Nade Shot just kind of threw him under the bus and said, "Here, come up with a crazy." I saw him on the different statues, and he was on men, women, animals. They put his face on everything.
Yeah, the animal one I thought was actually kind of funny because the moment you showed me that picture, I was like, wait. And I showed the missus, and she was like, "Is that who I think it is?" She's like, "Didn't you just meet him not too long ago?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Wow, they really taking those pictures." I say, "Yeah, because it's a good thing to get that stuff out there, because you see people's creativity." And what I've noticed from people doing that, if you can Photoshop somebody's face like that, like this one guy, I forgot what player the name was, but he ended up hiring him to be his graphic designer. And look at that, from one simple little picture of you just taking someone's face and just cropping it and dropping it off somewhere else, like he ended up being his graphic designer for his channel. And I was just like, wow, like that's, you know, it's just one of those things, like out of the blue, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the way that works. So the MLG roster changes. My God.
Yeah,
Twitter was pretty much just nothing but so-and-so jumped to this team. Oh, wait, no, now he jumped to this team. Oh, wait, now there's 2 teams. Oh, wait, now this is going to happen. Oh, he's quitting. He's not quitting. How do you even keep up with it?
I don't know. For me, the reason why I kept up with it,
I mean, I know you're happy because Optic's the same.
See, I don't get it. Don't get it twisted. My allegiance is to Optic, but I do appreciate that newer teams out there. Honestly, you know, every year they're coming out with a newer team, and it's amazing how small teams out there, you know, they're making it. You know, like for instance, SB, you know, those guys, Strictly Business. They're, you know, they came from nowhere, and those guys are hungry. You know, and to see them finish in the top 8. And to get their name out there, it's amazing. Like for me, the only way I could keep up with it is through the lucky phone here. But when I saw that this person went somewhere there, and I was gonna make that a topic of discussion, then when I saw that person ended up going somewhere else, and I'm just like, wow, like you guys changed teams more than I changed socks. Like the killer guy, you know, for me, him on Curse, and don't get it twisted, I think he's a phenomenal player. I mean, he really is. He's hungry, but he has one of the worst attitudes. Like, you know, getting paid that much. I understand, you know, and how people say, oh, it's a game. No, for them, it's a way of life. It's funding. That's how they get paid. That's how they make their money. But you have to not be a sore loser. It's just like professional sports players. You know, if they lose a game, they have to have amnesia for that game. They can't remember their stats. You know, they just have to go into the next one. All right, today's a new day. And let's push forward, you know.
Also professional,
because they have to. I mean, if you don't have that mentality, you're just not gonna make it. Like you just have to. You know,
exactly.
You have to take the you know, you have to go trade the hits. You know, go with the blows. I mean, so to speak.
Well, I mean, what do you think about all these teams joining now 2 teams? Now you got what? You got Optic Gaming, you got Optic Nation, you got FaZe Red, Black, Green, Yellow, Purple. I mean, Curse is in what? More cities than
like
Google Maps. I mean, it's
for me, when I saw that, it's a good thing you brought that up with Curse. I wasn't aware that there were 2 teams until I saw one of the YouTubers that I'm sub to. I don't know if you JD from New York. You know, he's sponsored by Curse, and when I saw his intro, I was like, huh, like I didn't even know that they had a second team. And then just, I don't know, it's just the way, if people do their research right, and I'm talking about the professional players, if they see that the teams that they stay with, regardless if it's a winning or losing team, you guys develop that chemistry. You know how each other's work. You know your flaws. You know your pros. You can't switch teams and trying to hit the lotto like, you know, I've just won the winning ticket.
That chemistry just doesn't happen like that. I mean, you know, and that's kind of like, you know, when you get on and you play with the same group every night, you know. You know, like I got a team of 6 that we play pretty much every night, and we know exactly what's going to happen. And if we just picked up some new player, we wouldn't be able to connect and everything, you know, like we did. But there is a good thing about this whole 2 teams, you know, every pro team having 2 teams now. There is a good side to it, and I pretty much saw it coming with Ghost because they were kind of lacking. You know, with the MLG events only being 3 days long, now they can actually play as long as Clan Wars. Yeah. Now they can take it a whole 5 days.
You know what's funny?
It's going to be MLG week.
Yeah. When you made that tweet, I was like, you know what? That makes sense. Like, that was good when you said, yeah, they can actually have enough teams to hold a Clan War. And I was like, you know what? That's actually that would make sense if they can get it to mesh right. Because
well, no, I was saying it more sarcastic. Like now, events are going to take too long. They're going to be as long as Clan Wars. I mean, Clan Wars is 5 days long.
The way if they do the whole the thing is with last year, I know they change the rules every year, but with last year when they held the Black Ops 2 championship at my school, Optic. And the reason why I'm using them is because I actually sat down with Hector, and he actually broke it down to me. He was like, honestly, we didn't even know that we were going to make this event because they kind of changed up the rules as far as, you know how you have, like, your teams based on how many wins you lose, how many points. But with them, in this case, it was how many points that they've acquired, and they just met the deadline to be invited. So when he told me this, I was just like, wow, like, you guys had no... not really. He said our notice was so short. We literally packed up our stuff, went to the airport, and they were finishing up our travel plans at the airport.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Knowing that at any given time, you could be invited to an event and you could win it.
Yeah, that's how it can happen. All right, so let's kind of switch topics here. So let's talk about. Still going on with the MLG thing, but let's talk about girlfriend breakups and YouTube drama. So, two big YouTubers, T Martin and Optic Nadeshot, both broke up their girlfriends very recently. And Optic was maybe a week ago. Nadeshot is about a week ago.
Yeah, it was a little over a week ago.
T Martin was a couple days, and I saw his video, and I'll tell you that is one positive guy. Like. If you watch a T Martin video, I mean, even going through all this, he was doing his house tour of the house that he's not gonna, because he's selling the house and everything, and even through that, he's staying positive, and and I kind of thought the whole breakup with Nadeshot was gonna get like, I as soon as I saw a tweet and it said just basically respect my privacy, which it should, and the first thing I thought was, here comes drama alert. Like, that's just what I just thought was going to happen. And it really just kind of blew over.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't like a big thing about it. There wasn't a big backlashing, at least from what I saw.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that?
Okay, for me, I saw the tweet when he posted it, and honestly, I wasn't really too shocked because I saw her at the event. She was in the front row when we initially met, and they it looks like they had an argument prior to getting there because when he sat down when he spoke to her, she kind of had like this attitude on her face. So I kind of saw it and I was like, you know what, I'll just let it be. But Drama Alert did try to get involved in there, but because of the fact that Nadeshot,
that's a big shocker.
True, but you know what? The fact that Matt, he didn't give into it, I definitely commend him because Keemstar tried to blow it up. I mean, surprise, surprise,
yeah. And
he didn't even respond to it. Like, he just left it alone. And what's good because he gets it. You have to have tough skin in this industry, especially in their line of work. And he just, okay, you know what? Stuff happens. He has his career, and it's funny because the missus and I were having a discussion on that, and during that week was when he made his decision. I don't know if you were aware of this, of whether or not what company he was going to go exclusively for as far as streaming. Because I think it was a day or two before, or it was literally like a day or two apart. And he made an announcement video, and it broke down, hey, look, this is the reason why I chose MLG. I know my Twitch people are definitely going to be disappointed in that. And, he gave an explanation video, but it was more, to me, I felt it more of as an apology.
Right.
And I hope that his decision based on what he chose, because obviously MLG would happily fund him more than what Twitch can. And yeah. I'm hoping that wasn't a decision because, granted, MLG is where, he's getting paid the big bucks. But at the same time, Twitch is where he got stuck started. So it's one of those where you can't.
He's got a big following.
He's got a big following, and I hope he didn't forget where he came from, because, you know, not to say that he's one of those people, but some people, when they do get access to that much money and that much publicity, they tend to forget where they came from, and I'm hoping that's not the case. But
it's funny that you say that too, because before I really even knew who Nadeshot was, you know, like I knew Optic Gaming, I was just kind of getting into the scene. I never had a connection. Like when I looked at him, you know, before I even knew who he was, I wasn't subscribed to his channel or anything. And you hear all this stuff about Optic Nadeshot. And I was like, okay, here's some cocky little kid who plays. And I really didn't get to get a sense of the type of person that he is until I saw him do the MLG event. When I saw him actually like broadcasting, and I got to see that, you know, wow, this guy is different than I thought. And I remember watching, and I'm like, wow, I had the wrong opinion about this guy, you know. And then when I saw the way that he handled the breakup and stuff, and it was like, he's going about this being mature. He's not just, you know, like some people, you know, they break up and they immediately just start bashing the person and unsub and unfollow it, and there was none of that. And you know, I was completely, you know, like, wow, I definitely had the wrong opinion about him. And same thing with, you know, with T Martin. I mean, the only thing I remember about T Martin's girlfriend was there was one time when he was super, super sick. Like his voice, he could not make a video. Like he just could not talk. And there was something big that happened. I think it was the whole Dead Silence amplify. They were like they changed something. I remember it was something in regards to Dead Silence.
Gotcha.
And his girlfriend actually did the commentary for him.
Oh wow.
And she got on and she was like, look, you know, Trevor is just he cannot even get out of bed, and made the whole video and did everything. And the funny thing about T-Martin is at the end of his videos, you cannot understand what he's saying. He always says, check out all the 2 videos you haven't seen. Like, you can't understand his outro, and he talks so fast. And everybody, when she said it, you know, she was like, check out one of the 2 videos if you haven't seen them, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he got so much hate for it. And that's the only thing that I remember really about his girlfriend, you know. But, you know, it was just neat to see, like, breaking up sucks. I mean, we don't know what happened. We don't, you know, we're not, all we see is the YouTube stuff. But, I mean, it was just, I don't know. They both handled it really well. And, you know, I wish them the best, both of them.
Yeah, from when I saw that video regarding T Martin, it was funny too, because he's definitely worked his way up to the 1.5 million. Because I follow him and Chris Move, and seeing how he took it, I mean,
splash.
Yeah, splash. but with him though, seeing the video, you know, because it was kind of weird, because he explains in the video that he had a stand with a tripod with the camera as he's walking around. And you could tell this is as real as it's going to get. You know, it was raining. You could see the drops on him. I mean, he looks like, to me, I feel that's the way he gets, like, that's the way, if he has an issue, that's the way how he resolves it. You know, by keeping us informed. You know, he's essentially the fact that, you know, him bringing his girlfriend in the picture, and you see her, and he shows all the, you know, he brought her into the YouTube community, like, and he invited us into his personal life. Yep. And to see someone go through that, it's like, you kind of share the empathy. Like, when I remember his first video, and I'll make this one quick. When he essentially made the announcement, like, hey, you know, I'm moving to, what was it, Iowa?
Yeah, Iowa.
Yeah, when he was like, all right, I'm moving to Iowa.
To be with her.
To be with her, you know, he was, I mean, super excited I don't think that word or that saying would do justice for him, because he was like, wow, like, this is the woman I really want to be with. You know, he went out there, he, you know, rented an apartment with her, got her situated with her school. And then when he made the announcement, he bought a house, and he did the kind of the little cribs thing. Yep. I was like, wow, like, he really cares for this woman to go to that extreme to buy a house. I mean, the way he was breaking down is, white picket fence, marriage, kids, the dog, and a partridge and a pear tree. Like he really went to that extreme, and knowing that it'll never happen. Because when you saw the end of the video, he said, I still love her. I still want her to be a part of my life. And then when he mentioned her siblings and the family, my heart dropped, because I've been there. I've been in that scenario. And to see him going through that, like, you feel that empathy. You can sympathize with him, like, it's going to be all right. Like, he said at the end, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to get myself back on my feet. But it was funny because I don't know if you caught it at the end of the video. He mentions the notion of not knowing where he's going to move next. Because he mentioned something about friends and family in Texas. He said something about going back to... he mentioned something about L.A. So, I don't know. Like, where do you think he's going to go?
It seems like he posted a tweet, and it was basically his pattern. And every 6 months, it's like he went to L.A. and then he moved back to Illinois. And then he moved to Iowa, and then he moved, he moved around, but he always seems to go back to Illinois. And I guess that's where his parents are. So I imagine, he'll probably go back there, at least because he wants to get out of the house. I mean, he was ready to move. I mean, the stuff, when he did the tour, everything was, was being packed up. Like, I mean, it was in boxes and stuff already. So he's ready to get out of there. I mean, no one's going to want to stay in a house, with someone that you used to live with and used to be with, and now they're gone. I mean, even when he showed like her room with all of her stuff in it, you could tell he was like, this is kind of the sad part of the tour, so that kind of thing, that always sucks. He's going to want to get out of there as soon as possible, but I mean, I don't know. I think like the way I look at it is, one of the reasons why I think he was so successful was because he was in Illinois. I was born in Illinois. There ain't nothing to do there. So you have a lot more time to make videos. You put T. Martin in the middle of, California, I think he's going to get caught up on it, because he's what, 20? I think he's in his 20s.
Yeah, he's in his early 20s from what I recall, because he had a birthday not too long ago.
He's not going to be making videos. He's going to be, blowing YouTube money on Hollywood Boulevard. That's what he's,
Knowing he definitely
But I did hear a rumor of why they broke up.
Huh. Enlighten me. Please do.
I heard, and this is coming from a very reliable source, but I heard both T. Martin and Optic, Nadeshot's girlfriends, both broke up coincidentally at the same time, because they're going to do a celebrity boxing match through Drama Alert. That's just what I heard. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. Could be hashtag false. I don't know.
That's true. It could be definitely hashtag false, but
So, all right, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we get back. You're definitely not going to want to miss this segment. We're going to get into the whole PKA survival trip, Wings of Redemption, all of that drama coming up in the next episode. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
How's it going, everybody? Great one here. Currently a student at Full Sail learning how to make video games, and this is my story. Want to find out more? Be sure to sub to me on YouTube, Mark Anthony AMA, and on Twitter, so you can catch up with the latest news. Great1718. Deuces.
Okay. All right, guys. Welcome back to the Gamers Lounge. Make sure you follow us at the Gamers Lounge TV on Twitter, or check out thegamerslounge.com. You can find all of our links. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Twitch, we have everything. YouTube, subscribe. And all right, so the last episode we were talking about breakups. Speaking of breakups, I think even bigger breakup than the T. Martin or the Nadeshot girlfriend breakup was Wings breaking up with PKA, getting dropped. That was a big drama going on. Of course, they did the whole survival trip. Did you watch the videos for the survival trip? Do you know what was going on with that, or do you watch PKA?
I see. Here's the thing with PKA, and hold on to your horses for this one. I'm a big fan of a lot of people that pretty much have arguments with Woody's gamer tag. I mean, I did follow him for a while, and I do like some of the segments he did on his show. But at the same time, when that whole... Do you remember the whole issue with El Presador making that statement regarding Woody's, his son? Because his son is... I think his son's autistic, from what I recall. And his son was, I guess, because of the fact that his podcast or whatever he was showing was live. Well, the son did an interaction with the dog, and El Prez happened to make a statement on it in one of Thunder's videos. Well, after that, Woody made a big stink out of it. He contacted Thunder, demanded that the video would be taken down, and they just got into this whole big, like, it was, honestly, I think a simple DM would have sufficed, and that would have been that. But, you know, Thunder, that's why Thunder now, he's kind of been on hiatus. You know, I happened to speak to him the other day, but with PKA, the reason why I stopped watching it, because I'm a big fan of Thunder. I like what he stands for. I like his channel. And what was funny about it was that Woody's Gamertag initiated this, but Thunder ended up succeeding more because his channel has blown up significantly. I mean, if you don't know who Thunder is, you know, because he is, like, to me, he's the face of COD. How many people you know, and this was in the Black Ops 2 era, can start... Like, he started, let me see if I can find the word. He started a motion, if you will. Like, TDM 150 was huge. You know, how does one person start a trend to where developers make a new game type because of the fact you requested it?
Yeah. I don't know if I go as far as saying he's the face of COD. I mean, I love Thunder. I like his videos.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely hates, you know, a lot on... I mean, if he doesn't like the game, if he doesn't get a good spawn, if he doesn't, you know, as far as that goes, he'll voice his opinion either way. But I think his videos are entertaining, and I enjoy watching him. I'm sub to him and everything like that. Right. As far as Woody's Gamertag, I kind of don't know why he gets so much hate. I mean, I know he's got like a bunch of hate from Drama Alert, you know, right. Keemstar's always, you know, going back and forth, you know. I mean, and I don't know why so many people, you know, don't like Woody's Gamertag. I mean, I think a lot of his videos are entertaining. I honestly, the only thing that I don't like about it is that he built this giant channel to 1.3 million subs, and it was COD based. And then, you know, he spent all his time, like, he had really good series, and not just like on the COD, but then he also made it a little different by doing, you know, like his Tech Tuesday and things, because I mean, he worked for Cisco. I mean, you know, he has knowledge on that kind of thing, and he would make these videos that were different, that were, you know, they taught you something, but they were also like entertaining, you know. And I really liked his Tech Tuesdays and stuff. But then he like overnight went to, you know, 95% Minecraft server, and it was like, hey, join my Minecraft server, hey, join this, you know, blah blah blah. PKA became woodycraft.net advertisements for 4 hours, you know. And for me, I was like, okay, that's cool if you want to play Minecraft, and that's cool if you don't like Ghost, but if you're going to take this channel that was all about COD and not do COD, then it's like, okay, why don't you just make a second channel and play Minecraft? Because nobody's going to watch, or not nobody, but people are not going to watch, majority of the people are not going to watch Minecraft videos if they subscribe to a Call of Duty channel.
Yeah, that's...
And that's what made me so frustrated. And then it became to a point where he made a video and he's like, okay, well, I'm getting rid of all of these shows. I'm not going to do the Tech Tuesday. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm only going to keep PKA, and I'm only going to keep Mail Monday.
Yeah, Mail Monday I liked because when he broke down, like, I remember this one episode, or this one, I guess, video for that matter, there was a younger gentleman, and he asked him for advice, because I guess the guy had broke up with his girlfriend, or whatever the case may be, you know, but the guy was contemplating suicide, and Matt, go figure, what his game tag name is Matt, when he, you know, he broke down the letter, because he actually posted it.
I think I remember that episode, actually.
Yeah, it was, the map was on Hijacked, and he had posted, you know, his response to it, and he broke it down, and I was like, wow, like, that's a truthful response. Like, he told me, he's like, you know, relationships come and go, you seem young, you seem healthy, you know, just try to deal with it in stride as best you can. And before you know it, you'll meet someone else. You'll move on. You'll learn from your mistakes. And you know what? For that, I commended him because that was a realistic response. I kind of took when I see some of these videos, I kind of put myself in their shoes, so to speak. So if I was sending you, let's say, if you were Woody's Gamertag, and I'm sending you a question regarding an issue that I have, and if that's the response you give me, I'm okay with that, because it was a really truthful response. Like, he told him what he needed to hear, vice what he wanted to hear,
Well, and I think that's one thing with Woody's Gamertag is the fact that, like, he really tries to help out, like he tries to give you genuinely good advice. And most of his people, are probably younger kids, but I mean, that's every YouTuber has that, and most of the people that are going to ask for advice, like me or you, most likely is not going to take and ask for advice on how to say hello to a girl. Now, a 12-year-old who's going through middle school or whatever and has never had a girlfriend may be like, you know what, hey, I'm going to, this is something that I don't want to, put my face onto it, but, maybe I can ask this. And I think, video games in general always are going to cater to a younger generation. So, of course, he's going to have younger subscribers. I mean, I think the older subscribers like me, you, people of our age, we're going to subscribe to Tech Tuesday. We're going to subscribe to the other shows that he had because it catered more to, us versus, like how to say hello to a girl doesn't cater to us, So, I mean, and it's like everyone's like, oh, well, he's a pedophile or he's, going after 12-year-old boys. Like I just think like that part, it's like, no. But like that part kind of frustrates me, and I don't know. Maybe it's because he was one of the first people that I really started watching on YouTube.
Right.
Back in Modern Warfare 2 and stuff. Him and Wings. Like, I mean, I watched a lot of Wings videos. Because I thought it was very informative on Modern Warfare 2 and things like that. And Wings Woody just gets so much hate. And even he says it. He's like, okay, they do a podcast, PK. Obviously, everyone's heard of it. It's huge, and if anything goes wrong, he gets more hate than anyone.
Well, his thing, see, here's the reason why, at least I feel this is the reason why he gets the hate. From what I recall, it's him, it's, Woody, was it FPS Kyle? You have
FPS Kyle, you got
Lefty, and it was
and
Wings of
Wings.
Redemption. Those were the four. And from what I recall, from when I first started watching it, all four of them, did they begin the show? Like, did they all create it together, or was it just like Wings and Woody, and then they just brought them two on?
No,
later?
actually, Wings posted a video of how they came up with PK. It actually started with Wings and FPS Kyle.
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
Woody wasn't even involved with it to begin with.
Wow.
He was going to be a guest. They were like, because this is back at the time when, Woody only had, I think, like 8,000 subscribers or something like that,
Okay.
And so they came up with this idea, and Wings actually came up with PK already. Like, he's the one that actually came up with the name. And it was going to be him and Kyle, and then they ended up bringing Woody. And they brought this, before Lefty was there, they actually brought this other guy. I can't think of his name right now. Something, it was like a country name, some country guy or something. But I guess he was getting hammered at like every show to the point where like he didn't even know what he was doing. So they ended up replacing him, and I imagine that's where Lefty came in. I don't know if there was a transition or whatnot, but originally it was started with Wings. And, with PK, I mean, I've been watching it for probably the last year or so. I've been really watching, PK. I enjoy it. I mean, I can't sit down and spend 4 hours watching the entire thing, but I watch it in segments or whatever. But, I mean, I think the show is good. I mean, they do some really funny stuff, like the prank calls and stuff are really funny. And this survival trip, I mean, it was funny. Like, it's something that's like they said, okay, we're going to go out in the woods. We're going to bring one set of clothes. We're going to bring a water filter just because, they were going to have to drink from, the river or whatever. But they basically brought very limited supplies and went out to the woods. I mean, they parked the car, went about 2 hours into the woods with a backpack full of stuff, and we're going to survive. No food for 5 days. I mean, they literally had to catch food. They had to make a shelter. It was going to be it was like 30 degrees, and it was a severe thunderstorm. So it possibly could have snowed. Like, it's not just they were, going to be sitting at, a hotel with no food for 5 days. I mean, it was going to take a lot, and I was really excited about it. And basically, just to sum up the whole, in case you didn't get to see the videos, but they posted a lot of videos of them, building shelter, and Wings ended up backing out the night before. So they were supposed to meet. They were at like 8 or 9 o'clock. I think it was in Georgia, North Carolina, somewhere. I forget where it was, some woods. And 10 o'clock at night, I think it was Kyle, sent Wings a text about something, and he just flat out said, "I'm not going." This was the night before.
Wow. See, I remember seeing that video with Wings, and he explained as to why, but knowing it's the night before and everybody's like, oh, we're all set up, ready to go, for him to back out, it's like I noticed with him, he feels like his channel's dying. And you know what? In his eyes and many other people's eyes, it just may. But that's where you adapt, that's where you evolve, and that's where you make the change to the growing times.
And this could have been a great thing for his channel.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're right. It may have been a great thing for his channel.
If he would have stayed for an hour, it would at least show that he went there. And he was talking about that the drive there and how much money it was going to cost, and he didn't have videos prepared. And I see two sides. One, you never should ask a 400-pound man to go into the woods for 5 days with no food and no camping experience or anything. I mean, he should have declined way before that.
True.
And
no,
because Lefty did. Like, Lefty flat out said, "No, I'm not doing that." Like, and no one gave him crap. He didn't lose subscribers. Nothing happened. He just said, "I'm not going to do that."
See, at least with him, he was truthful with it. He was like, all right, this is something I physically can't do, or maybe he just doesn't have survival tips, for that. But with Wings, I've noticed lately he's all about the social media. He's on Facebook, he's on Twitter, he does YouTube.
He doesn't even have his own Twitter. He doesn't have access to it.
Well, lately there's been a lot of posts on his behalf on Twitter, so I don't know if it's...
Lefty controls his Twitter.
So Lefty's the one running now. See, I didn't know.
I think it's Lefty. Lefty.
But what I've noticed on his Facebook, he gave an explanation as to why he didn't attend the trip, and I was just like, wow, like, why didn't you just say that early? Because I've read the comments, and that's one thing I'll definitely do. If people post that, I'll always read the comments to see what kind of feedback they're getting. And a majority of the comments that were posted were truthful. They were, one guy was like, thank you very much for clarifying this, because I'm a loyal fan. I've been with you since you had 10,000 subs. I mean, this guy pretty much broke it down. He was like, thank you for clarifying this, Wings. Good luck with keeping your channel up. We're sorry you got kicked off PKA, but you'll bounce back from this. That's a loyal fan. And, that's the kind of stuff that he needs to hear right now. Because when people get that depressed, I hate to say it, I would hate for him, knock on wood, to, God forbid, do something stupid. But people like that, when they post that cry for help, usually, God forbid, end up committing suicide. I'm hoping that's not the case for him. Because on another side note, the actor Jonathan Brandis. Well, he used to be on. I think it was Stargate, or there was a show that he was on. But he was an actor, and he had an issue like that where his girlfriend broke up with him. I think he lost a role for a movie. He put out a cry for help, and people didn't believe him. And 2 days later, he committed suicide. So it's like, and this was in like the 90s. Like, he was in the second Neverending Story. Like, that's my movie that I remember him fondly from, as growing up as a kid. But with Wings,
I think about that with Wings a lot. Like, because he's so depressed and he's so overweight. I mean, he's doing great with the weight loss and stuff, but he gets so much hate from so many people that it's just like, man, one of these days you're gonna see that video, and it's gonna come out, and we all hope it doesn't happen. But it's like with Wings, I just don't understand. Like, he's really good at heart. Like, he wants to take and do good,
right.
And then it's like he said it. He talks himself out of it. The second he saw them making the videos of them building shelter, because they started, putting sticks together to build a shelter and stuff. The second he saw it, he wanted to be there. I think people watching the video, like I saw it, I was like, man, I want to do this, and I think he felt really bad that he did it. And then what made it worse was that, I don't know if you know what ended up happening, but basically it was the first night they started building their shelter. They took out 30 trees with like a manual saw. Like, they had no chainsaw and stuff, but they're trying to build this. And the structure was it was really good. And so they have to work on getting food, because they had the shelter and the fire, and Kyle ended up going after a turtle. And I think he said he shot it or something like that, and he had to get into the river. And then later on, like 30 minutes, an hour later, whatever, he just started vomiting everywhere. Like, it was just continuous. Wow. Like, he just could not stop vomiting. And even at night, like when they were laying there, he would just wake up and vomit. And, so Woody was like, do you want to go home? And he's like, yeah, there was a big rainstorm coming. And he's like, but he couldn't control it all the way back to the car. He was just vomiting. They think what happened is, while he was in the river, he probably swallowed some water unintentionally, because they had the filter. He wasn't drinking it, but it either got into, a cut or drank, some of it, and there's a bacteria infection. But the whole thing was over in not even a day. Like, they didn't even make it a day. And especially for Wings, it's like, man, if you just would have showed up, you wouldn't have even had to go 5 days. People would have thought you were a hero. And he made it seem like people wanted him to go just to fail. Yes, nobody looked at it like, oh man, I really hope Woody can make it. I hope he can survive. I hope he, people knew Woody's going to survive. Kyle's going to survive. Woody's going to struggle. He's a 400-pound man. He doesn't have the same physical, stability, and
Wings.
Of course,
yeah.
Like, you expect that, that's going to happen. But it's just like, man, you only would have had to go a few hours, and people would have never been like, God dang, this 400-pound man just went into the woods and said, you know what, I don't even care, even if it was all fake.
Right.
At least it would have been huge for his channel.
Yeah, what would have been nice if he would have just not even spend the night. Let's say, okay, they started at noon, all right? Let's say he shows up at around 3 or 4, he stays till like midnight. You know what? I do agree with you, but that would have been, I think, it would have been good for his channel, but also at the same time, it would have been bad, because a lot of people sub to him, and I've noticed this over the past year or two. A lot of people sub to him to kind of hate on him, like they want to see him fall, and that's, whatever people do, and this is just my opinion, whatever you want to do on that, that's on you. But if you want to sub to somebody and you want to see them fail, what's wrong with you? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, people do that every day, and it's just like, wow, like, that's what the community has come down to. Even if he would have shown up,
but that's the attitude he portrays. Like, he posts videos of him failing. Like, it's like he wants to do it, but he already assumes that he's going to fail. It's like the whole weight loss thing. I mean, it took him going like, he was like, okay, I'm going to go to Kyle's house for a boot camp for 30 days, and strict. I mean, he couldn't eat what he wanted. I mean, they made him eat what they had, and that's what he had to work out every day. And then it's like he wants to quit and leave, and so many times he quits himself. And people just assume that he's going to quit. I honestly thought, okay, the first person that would quit the survival trip would be Wings, but I at least thought he would show up.
Right.
I mean, I was really shocked that he didn't show up. That to me was just, But then, even if he doesn't show up, and it seemed like Woody made a video when he came back, and he kind of addressed it, but it did seem like there was bad blood. Like, he pretty much was like, I kind of thought this from Wings. This is what we expect from Wings. Like, they know that that's the type of person, like, he's canceled on things before. But to kick him off the show, I honestly think it's going to really hurt PK, because people tune in to PK to hear these crazy things that he's going to say, these stories that he's going to tell. And when you listen to the montages of the little audio clips that they throw together, it's mostly Wings making a fool of himself, but that's what people show up for. And now, I don't know, I'm curious to see what's going to kind of happen over this show now. I don't think it's going to be the same.
Well, for me, I think they'll find someone else, but at the same time, it's not going to have that lasting effect. Especially the fact that it was like, I didn't know that it was Wings who initially started PKA. I mean, what was it? Was it Keemstar? Someone posted a few days ago about, or it might have been you actually, regarding to sponsor the show, something along the lines of $1,500. I was just like, when I saw that, I was like, what? Like, because I follow.
No, what it was is Keemstar wanted to do an interview with Wings.
Okay.
And Wings said, "I'll do it for $10,000." This is coming from the Drama Alert tweets. I don't know. It wasn't actually from Wings. But he responded with, "Sorry, Wings, you've never been worth more than $1,000 for an interview." So that was kind of where that started. Like,
okay,
he was saying that you ain't worth $1,000 and you're asking for $10,000, and that's kind of where that started.
Yeah, because when I saw that, I was just like, damn, like, that's what it's coming down to. Because, like I said, when I first,
you can get an ad on Drama Alert for $50.
Huh.
He posted it already. It's $50.
Damn.
I almost wanted to sponsor it just to like put something funny up there, like.
Yeah, because with what is it, Lag Comp podcast, the one that Frito and Eddie does, I was a sponsor on his show one day, and it was only $5. You know what? It was cool, just the way he presented it and the way he went about it. But with, back to what I was saying with Wings on PK, like, it's definitely gonna be a different show. And based on the fact that it happened as quickly as it did, I think a lot of people are gonna watch to see what happens, not only with Wings but with the way PKA turns out. Because when I first started watching it, I remember the first time I watched it, I want to say it was under 3 hours. It was about 2 hours and 20 something minutes. And up until recently, the last one I saw was just about 4 hours, and it was actually a really
run about
good
4
show.
hours.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good show. But let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with our remaining thoughts on this topic.
Welcome back, episode 1. This is the Gamers Lounge. Thank you again, DS Fury, for being our sponsor for the show. This has definitely been fun, and we're going to kind of call it quits for this episode here. We don't want it to turn into an entire episode of Wings. If you want to see that, you can join PKA. You can watch that. But we want to keep it, kind of update and keep on moving. So we just want to say thank you to everyone that took the time to watch this show. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Great one. What's your Twitter?
All right,
shout yourself out.
I'm not really good at things like this, but if you follow me on Twitter, it's Great1718. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/Mark Anthony AMA. I'm working on getting it changed. The reason why it's that, because when I first got the channel, this was back in like 2007, 2008. So that's MarcAnthony AMA. And you could also follow me on Facebook at Great1718.
And if you can't remember all those links, you can always go to thegamerslounge.com, and all the links to my Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff along with the show and Great One is all there for you, just a simple click away, and you can take and just click and subscribe and follow us, support us, and we want to take and support you. So if you are a new channel, if you're looking to get some exposure, if you want to kind of shout out what your channel is about, then definitely make sure you send us a message, let us know, and we will take and gladly promote your channel and everything. So this is episode 1. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you again next week, and hopefully we will have a third host. I think that will bring, just a little bit more interaction to the show, and definitely keep on evolving. But every week we will get better till we are the best podcast on the internet, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. I'm Mr. Jamestown. That's the great one.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys later. Oh, you were going to say deuces? I was waiting for you to say deuces.
Deuces.
Deuces.